Every single woman on this planet is one split decision away from total pandemonium and emotional chaos because women are all children who don't have the ability to tame their inner control freak mechanisms. They're all bipolar and emotionally stop growing up around middle school. There's no such thing as an adult female. They're at most highly intellectual teenagers, and the appearance of their emotional maturity will always come at the cost of people sacrificing themselves in one shape or another, either by materiality via resource extraction or pandering total agreeability from some enslaved self-hating cuckolded simp. It doesn't matter if she is a conservative or a liberal, beautiful or ugly, rich or poor, she's still a woman, so she is still a child. She can even have a dozen children herself, all the money in the world, own property, and be college educated from an Ivy League program. But she is still internally a quaking mess that does not know how to compute the word no. No is a very interesting word to a woman. It causes a total flip in their sense of stability. It's almost like a button. It erupts this gigantic tidal wave of betrayal and derogatory slander. It's simply a difference of opinion for men, but it's a total temper tantrum trigger for women. Because men define evil from a divergence from a set of abstract principles, and women define evil from the most immediate obstruction, blockading them from their immediate desires. That's why after puberty, you see a stark difference in the male and female brain. Men get their way from fair game communication, often bartering something of the sort, while women get their way from emotional manipulation and sexual weaponry. They wangle their sensuality and prowess their makeup on to once again control men, which is only possible because they keep them disconnected from reason and moving in true honesty to themselves. And you guys know I'm not one of these typical red pill anti-woman sort of content creators, right? This is not a prognosis against the female gender. I absolutely adore them, and I'm surrounded by women that I love and protect. This isn't even a hit piece against promiscuity, although they do have flirtatious tendencies as an act of rebellion. That is the true core of the matter. This is a cold, hard truth that men are not allowed to say, but are all collectively aware about and often in agreement about. And before you throw the straw man of men are cheaters and living double lives too, they're just as bad, just look at how much better women are doing institutionally than men. Men are way more emotional and angry today. They're the ones monetizing all this red pill content and porn addiction. I totally agree that men are failing at an alarming rate, but that's because society is totally gynocentric, which is a luxury only possible from generations of blood and sweat that undergirds the very framework that allows modernity to exist in the world today. Men can be hostile, immature, broken, and degenerate, and it's more often the case, but men are this way because of alienating circumstances, and women, who don't even have any heavy trauma or neglect, still choose to have this spoiled, consistent behavior out of the blue. And the point is that women will never admit this because of the overcompensating ego born out of comparative low self-esteem in the female gender, which is out of this fucking planet. They will happily look at the sacrifices of men in the past as nothing more than mere delivery boys that can be discarded now that all the bridges and skyscrapers have been situated. But don't worry, they'll call you to work as a plumber or laborer when they need some grunt work done. Chop chop though. This is more than just biology. This is spiritual, as written in the blueprint that God designed in Genesis. You need women to give birth to children and to love those children into early teenagehood. But you need men to raise those teenagers into self-respecting adults who frequently pause with introspection and moral consideration. It is the man that binds the family into honorable conscientiousness, not woman. The man is a source of strength and authority in the household because that's how God designed us. This is why no matter how well off and materialistically successful and secure a single mother is, it just doesn't ever matter because it's a spiritual order that you simply can't change. You can't change nature. Even if her heart is in the right place and her ex-husband was manipulative and deserved to be divorced due to his abusiveness and neglect, the children of single mothers always become delinquent, imbecilic vampires to those around them because there needs to be a male voluntarily guiding the household. Otherwise, the boys become criminals and the girls become prostitutes. When left to their own devices, the male mind is clear, calm, and just doesn't want trouble erupted. That's the thing about us guys. We don't want drama. We want to chill. In a way, the male mantra can be summarized as, when in doubt, Relax and take a breather. It's a proper operative starting state to move in rationality and wisdom after all. And yes, when there's distractions bombarded and the confidence is struck, things can look pretty shabby, but on the whole, this is the male mind. And in turn, when the female mind is left to its own devices, and I would also add in the best of circumstances as well, we'll put a bountiful room full of wealth and servitude, they become bored. And in that boredom, they become entitled and irritable, drama-seeking and neurotic. Because women are emotional control freaks that never grow up. They actually end up destroying their children from excess mollycoddling and always sabotage the true independence of the children with overparenting. And they can never admit when they're wrong. That's why the best case scenario is what I advocate, which is to have your girl totally codependent and imprinted to just pleasing you, so that by the time you have children together, your authority can be interpreted as what is optimal for both herself and the family, which it will be if done properly. You have to own her soul, and she has to look upon you as her savior. Otherwise, eventually, at minimum, she will run around like a chicken with her head cut off, crashing out onto everyone else and bringing everyone into the drama. Because they can't help themselves, gentlemen. The female mind is antithetical to rationality and clarity. To them, it's not fun. It's not scintillating. It doesn't entertain the inferiority complexes that they have inside of them. It doesn't matter if it's your girlfriend or wife, your daughter, your granddaughter, your sister, cousin, mother, your grandma, your great-grandmother. It doesn't matter if it's your boss or preacher, God forbid. Imagine having a female boss or preacher. Your coworker, your classmates, your neighbor, or female law enforcement, which shouldn't even exist in the first place. Women are not meant to handle power because it is their nature to abuse it. Not because they want to do so. They aren't malicious. They're not sitting here like Dr. Evil trying to destroy the world, but they always end up destroying everything because they're simply too emotional. And let's be honest, men only become emotional in the first place when they get sucked into their tornadoes of drama-loving and high-strung attention-seeking in the first place. But again, they aren't hateful in their evil. They actually can't help themselves. They're children. So guide them and love them correctly. And the most important thing is don't let them drag you down into their level of emotional nonsense. You can be there for them. Hug them with total sincerity. Love them. Always have their back unconditionally. But don't stoop down to their hell. It's not sympathy or being empathetic. It's not helping them at all. And it's most definitely only hurting you. Because somebody has to be the light in the darkness. And it ought to be the more rational and clear-minded of the two. If that means exiting the premise because you've had your allotment of bullshit for the day, so be it. Let them rave and punch holes in the walls until the cows come home. That, going forward, should have nothing to do with your sanity, because your sanity is directly connected to the long-term stability and direction of the household. Don't let it get compromised ever. You're the guiding light, and she is the ocean of darkness. And remember, it's not malicious. They can't help themselves. It's never purposeful. They just can't help but explode in erratic emotions from time to time because they're children. And children just need love and guidance. Sometimes they have tantrums. Let them cry it out for hours on end and detox the suppression out from time to time. Watch as they crash out in rage after several months of pure tranquility and peace out of the fucking blue. Whatever. It's what they do. All I'm saying is never adopt and practice the evil you abhor. Do not let them drag you into their emotional hell. And then you should be all right. Stay safe, gentlemen.